side plank rotation. So in this particular plank rotation drill, what we're trying to do is we're trying to rotate an entire segment around a fixed hip or that bottom side. So we do this for two reasons in particular. The first one being we're trying to, if my leg is planted and I'm rotating my torso around that leg, it's going to create a load mechanism or a stretch mechanism into those hip external rotators on that bottom side. And then the second one is as my pelvis rotates, I'm creating internal rotation on that bottom leg. So the more hip flexion that I come into when that bottom leg is down, which I'll describe in just a second, and the more rotation I have, especially in my pelvis, the more internal rotation demand it's gonna be on that bottom leg. So we'll do this to strengthen the lateral hip of that bottom leg and also to improve internal rotation on that bottom hip as well. So when you get down into your side plank position, we like to go, you're in this knee bent position, like you're gonna be in a straight line, and then you're gonna bring the top leg back and the bottom leg forward just a little bit. So you're almost in like a 90-90 position. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna bridge up and then you're gonna pick that top leg up off the ground. Now from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm trying to keep the height there by pressing this shin through the floor and bringing my hips forward. So I'm in a straight line and then I'm trying to rotate through, keep bringing this hip bone toward the ground, and then reach through with my hands as far as I can without losing height to get internal rotation on this bottom leg. And then I rotate back out of it. And then I repeat back down into that bottom position and come back out. So sometimes what we'll do is we'll have people do a tempo. So they come down to that bottom position. Maybe they hold for a 2 or 3 second count and they come back to that top position and hold. If it creates too much discomfort in the front of your hip, maybe it's creating a pinching sensation, what you can do is play with this lead leg. So the more hip flexion I go into, when I go to rotate, that's gonna create a different sensation in the internal rotation because my pelvis is closing down on that. So maybe I have to bring my leg down a little bit and that will change the sensation to where it's more comfortable and I'll get more of a glute stretch on that bottom hip. Maybe it's too challenging and that's okay. So if it's too challenging, what we can do is keep this leg on the ground. So I'm pushing my foot into the ground, but when I go to rotate, I want to try to go up onto my toe and then come back down. So that way that my pelvis is still rotating and I'm still getting an internal rotation demand on this bottom leg. So play with your setup to figure out what's the most comfortable, where can I feel the muscles working, being the hips on the bottom leg. If your leg's off the ground, you will most definitely feel that top hip working as well. And then can I feel that internal rotation? So can I feel that little bit of the stretch that happens in that bottom position? And we're trying to be mindful that it's not creating a pain response pressure, like a stretch. Those types of sensations are okay, but a sharp pain is what we're trying to stay away from.